Vegeta's story is one of the most compelling character arcs in all of anime. A tale of pride, redemption, and perpetual struggle that spans decades. When we first meet the Prince of All Saiyans, he arrives on Earth as a ruthless conqueror, a man so consumed by arrogance that he believes himself destined to be the strongest warrior in the universe. His initial defeat at the hands of Goku and the Z Fighters marks the beginning of his first great fall. Not just a physical defeat, but a psychological one that shakes the very foundation of his identity. Vegeta had never truly been challenged before, never had to confront the possibility that someone could be his equal, let alone his superior. That humiliation on Earth plants a seed that will define him for years to come, an obsession with surpassing Goku that borders on madness. But here's where Vegeta's complexity begins to show itself. Rather than simply becoming a one-note rival, he chooses to stay on Earth, to train alongside the very people who defeated him. This decision reveals something crucial about his character. Beneath all that pride and rage, there's a warrior who recognizes strength wherever it exists, and who will do whatever it takes to achieve his goals, even if it means swallowing his pride temporarily. His rise begins during the Namek saga, where we see glimpses of something more than just a villain. Yes, he's still ruthless, still murdering innocent Namekians in his quest for the Dragon Balls, but there are moments where we see cracks in his armor. He's terrified of Frieza in a way that humanizes him, and when he dies at Frieza's hands, begging Goku through tears to defeat the tyrant who enslaved and destroyed his entire race, we realize that Vegeta isn't just a villain. He's a victim too, a survivor of genocide who never properly processed his trauma and instead channeled it into rage and ambition. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Vegeta's character, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more anime analysis and breakdowns. When Vegeta returns to life and comes back to Earth, we enter a new phase of his journey. The long, painful middle period, where he's perpetually the second strongest, always in Goku's shadow, and absolutely seething about it. The Android and Cell sagas represent perhaps the lowest point in Vegeta's emotional journey. Even if his power continues to grow, he achieves Super Saiyan, that legendary transformation that should have been his birthright as a prince. But even this monumental achievement is hollow because Goku got there first. Then comes his most catastrophic fall. His pride literally destroys the world. When Cell offers him a chance to let him achieve his perfect form for a better fight, Vegeta's arrogance overwhelms his judgment. He allows Cell to become perfect, resulting in the death of his own son from the future, Trunks, and nearly dooming the entire planet. This moment is crucial because it's not a defeat in battle, it's a moral and intellectual failure. Vegeta's pride, his defining characteristic, has become his greatest weakness, and it costs everything. The shame of this failure haunts him for years, but something interesting happens after Cell's defeat. We begin to see Vegeta's second rise, and this time it's different. He starts a family with Bulma, has a second child, and for 7 years, lives a relatively peaceful life. When we see him again in the Buu saga, he's softened in subtle ways, even if he'd never admit it. He shows up to the World Tournament, and there are moments where it's clear that he actually cares about his family, even if he doesn't know how to express it properly. But that old demon, the need to surpass Goku, hasn't died. It's only been dormant. When Babidi offers him power, Vegeta makes a choice that seems like a regression, but is actually more nuanced than his previous failures. He willingly becomes Majin Vegeta, letting himself be possessed to unlock more power, and he does this knowing full well what he's doing. This is different from his mistake with Cell, because it's calculated. He's so desperate to prove himself against Goku that he's willing to become a villain, again, to throw away the life he's built. The fight between Majin Vegeta and Goku is one of the most emotionally charged battles in the series, because it's not really about saving the world. It's about Vegeta's desperate need for validation, for acknowledgement, for proof that he matters. And when he finally gets his rematch, when he finally fights Goku at full power, he realizes something devastating. Even with the Majin boost, he still can't definitively win. But then comes Vegeta's finest moment, the scene that completes his transformation from villain to hero. When he realizes that his pride has once again put the world in danger by helping resurrect Majin Buu, Vegeta makes the ultimate sacrifice. He hugs his son Trunks for the first time, tells him he's proud of him, and then blows himself up in an attempt to destroy Buu and save everyone. It doesn't work. Buu regenerates. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that Vegeta, the man who valued his pride above all else, chose to sacrifice everything for others. He died believing he had failed, but he died a hero. This is his true rise, not measured in power levels, but in character growth. When he's resurrected and returns for the final battle with Kid Buu, we see the culmination of this journey. Vegeta finally acknowledges Goku as the better fighter, admits it out loud, and in doing so, he's paradoxically freed from the burden that has defined him. By accepting that he's number 2, he becomes something more than just the rival. He becomes himself. The final scene of Z, with Vegeta at the World Tournament watching Goku fight Oob, shows a man at peace with who he is. Still proud, still competitive, but no longer consumed by it. He's a father, a husband, a protector of Earth. And yes, still a warrior, but these identities coexist now rather than competing. Dragon Ball Super continues this trajectory, showing Vegeta as a more complete person who can access godly transformations, not through anger, but through different emotional pathways. His ultra ego form in the manga literally draws power from his pride, but it's a different kind of pride now, not the brittle defensive arrogance of his youth, but genuine self-respect earned through decades of growth. Vegeta's journey from villain to rival to hero to father is compelling because it's messy and non-linear, full of backsliding and mistakes, just like real growth. He never stops being prideful, never becomes a Goku clone, but he learns to channel that pride into something constructive rather than destructive. That's what makes his story resonate. It's not about becoming perfect, it's about becoming better, one painful step at a time.